Hi, very good evening. So today we're going to chiefly discuss the differences between benign and malignant tumors. In a very brief manner, we'll try to cover all the differences between benign and malignant tumors. Right? We'll try to complete off in 50-20 minutes and then we'll break. Tomorrow we'll try to have a textbook discussion on the topic metastasis. So while dealing with metastasis tomorrow, we'll have MCQs from today's topic as well as from tomorrow's topic as well. Right? So this virtual classroom session, let's chiefly concentrate or focus on the main differences between benign and malignant tumors. So a very good evening all of you. So before starting, as you all know, neoplasia is nothing but new. Plasia means growth. So mass of cells, abnormal mass of cells or group of cells which are formed as a result of abnormal, excessive, uncontrolled, purposeless proliferation of tissue even after cessation of stimulus which initially started this growth. So that's the definition of neoplasia. So we have basically based on the characteristics, the surface morphology, surface characteristics, and also based on the histologic features and based on various other characteristics, we have broadly benign as well as malignant tumors. So that's the common classification which we allot each tumor into, right? So now let's see the main differences between benign and malignant tumors, and as you can see, the boundaries, surrounding tissues, size and secondary changes, all these come under the clinical or gross changes. And the pattern, basal polarity, pleomorphism, anisonucleosis, hyperchromatism, NC ratio, that is nuclear cytoplasmic ratio, mitosis, giant cells, chromosomal abnormalities, and alteration in function, all are more or less associated with the histologic aspects. And then you have local invasion, growth rate, metastasis, and prognosis. The differences are very simple to understand. We have few important points which we'll discuss in the process, right? I hope I'm audible, and you feel like I need to raise my voice, do let me know, right? Okay, right. So I hope it's streaming fine, right? So first let's see the gross morphological features, the boundaries. So as you all know, the benign lesion. So okay, let you answer rather than me answering the same. So what would be the boundaries of a benign compared to malignant lesion? So which one do you think is more localized or circumscribed in nature? Yes? Good. I encourage all of you to answer because this session has to be more or less like a discussion rather than a one-way form of communication. Right. Good. So obviously, as you all rightly said, boundaries in case of benign, they are well circumscribed. And also, they are well localized. Whereas in case of malignant, the tumors are poorly circumscribed, isn't it? So that's one common difference which we are all familiar with. And now coming to surrounding tissues, what is the fate of surrounding tissues surrounding either a benign tumor or a malignant tumor? So obviously surrounding tissues are compressed because of increase in diameter, because of pressure, the surrounding tissues are compressed. Whereas in case of malignancy, there is nothing like compression, there is direct invasion. So you have local invasion, which is evident in case of your malignant tumors, isn't it? Now, coming to the size. So when you comparatively benign tumors, they are smaller in the overall dimensions compared to malignant counterparts. and secondary changes. So we have various secondary changes that can be seen, which includes your hemorrhage, infarction or ulceration, which are also commonly associated with your malignancies. So various secondary changes include hemorrhage or surface ulcerations or even infarctions. Right? So these four characteristics are categorized under the surface morphology or the gross appearances based on which we can classify or differentiate benign tumors from malignant tumors, right? It's very simple. Now, coming to various histologic aspects. Coming to anaplasia. So where do you see anaplasia and what is anaplasia? So try answering that. Yes, Syed. Good. Yes, Regina. Is that a Russian language which you have typed? I can't really pronounce that. Please don't test my Russian skills. So what is anaplasia and where do you find mostly anaplasia, in benign or malignant? So that can be discussed under pattern. Yes, Tanu. Invasion is considered to be a more severe form rather than this pressure kind of related effects. So obviously, invasion is more damaging in nature compared to the compression. Yes, anaplasia, as the name itself indicates, an absence of differentiation. So absence of differentiation is mostly seen in case of benign or malignant. Exactly, nature lover. Good. Anaplasia is present. Yes, Preeti, what did you say? Yeah. Yes, Tanu. Anaplasia or lack of differentiation is present or is a feature of malignancy. That's the reason why the mass of cells which are abnormally growing, they do not resemble the parent structure in case of your malignancy. But here there is well differentiation in case of benign tumors. Right? There is nothing like anaplasia. There is well differentiation and the mass of cells resemble their parent structure. So, Preeti, anaplasia or absence of differentiation is a characteristic feature of malignant tumors, right? Simple. Yes, we can call it as poor cell if ana means absent, or poor comparatively. Now, coming to basal polarity, usually you'll have cells and you have nucleus to one extent or to one extreme. So basal polarity is maintained in case of your benign tumors and it is absent or it's not maintained in case of your malignant tumors. Now, can you please explain me the terms pleomorphism, anisonucleosis and hyperchromatism? So the term itself gives you a lot of information. The word itself gives you a lot of information, right? Yes, Dhanalakshmi, good. So how do you differentiate pleomorphism, anisonucleosis and hyperchromatism? It's buffering for me. How is it going on for you? Yeah, so pleo means multiple or variation in form and shape. Yeah, nuclear cytoplasmic ratio, we can discuss that later. Pleomorphism, different or variation in form and shape of the cell as such. Whereas anisonucleosis is the same variation which is seen with respect to the size of nucleus, right? So pleomorphism, something related to the cell, anisonucleosis related to the shape or size of the nucleus, and hyperchromatism, increase in chromatin content. Yes, very good. So as I had said, so pleomorphism, it's a variability in size as well as shape. Exactly. So anisonucleosis is alteration in the size of a nucleus. So these features are characteristically found in case of a malignancy, right? Simple. Now coming to nuclear cytoplasmic ratio. Now tell me, what is the normal nuclear cytoplasmic ratio and what happens to this NC ratio in case of malignant cells? So what is the normal NC ratio, nuclear cytoplasmic ratio? As you can see, common sense says that there is less of nucleus and more of cytoplasm, isn't it? So what is nuclear cytoplasmic ratio in a normal cell, in a normal case scenario, and what happens to it in case of your malignant tumors or malignant cells? Yes, Ajaj? Say 1:5. Yeah, yes. I'm sorry, it's basal polarity. We have some light reflection there. Yes, it is basal polarity. So what is the normal nuclear cytoplasmic ratio? Yes, Ajaj, you're right. So the normal nuclear cytoplasmic ratio is 1:5, 1:5, right? And it is increased to up to 1:1, almost 1:1. So there is increase in the size of your nucleus. That's the reason why the ratio is in fact decreasing. So the normal is 1:5. Right? So this is found to be normal in case of your benign, but malignancy, because of increase in size of your nucleus, you have 1:1. Now, coming to mitosis. Yeah, it's mentioned as 1:5, 1:4. I don't know which textbook or which reference you have. Yes. Fine. So, what about mitosis? Mitosis is nothing but a process where there is division leading to formation of one cell into two with equal number of your chromosomes. So mitosis are found, but they are typical in nature. So symmetric kind of mitosis, but atypical mitosis in case of your malignant cells. That's pertaining to mitosis. And coming to giant cells are occasionally present. However, if they are present, the nucleus seems to be normal. There is no nuclear atypia, but giant cells are prominently found in case of a malignant tumors with nuclear atypia or abnormalities associated with nucleus. Now, most importantly, coming to chromosomal abnormalities. Chromosomal abnormalities are mostly associated with malignancy. You have DNA aneuploidy, and aneuploidy is nothing but your abnormal characteristics of your number of chromosomes. Aneuploidy, where usually we have 46, there can be either 45 or 47. So aneuploidy is commonly found in case of your malignant tumors, and one best example which I can give you, and also we discussed in our classes, is Philadelphia chromosome. So Philadelphia chromosome. So can you explain me where do you find Philadelphia chromosome, and what is this Philadelphia chromosome, and why is it called as Philadelphia chromosome, and what are the changes or translocations happening between which chromosomes in case of Philadelphia chromosome? Yes, Preeti, you're right. Malignancy is 1:1, normal 1:5. Yes, Regina, malignant atypical. Very good, Preeti, Thanu. Yes, Ananya. Yeah, long arms. Very good. So, usually 95% of the cases, Philadelphia chromosome is found in case of 95% cases found in CML, chronic myeloid leukemia, and it's named as Philadelphia chromosome because it was identified in the first in the place called Philadelphia. And also, as you rightly said, Ananya, there is translocation between long arms of chromosome number 9 and 22. Yes, Preeti. Yes, Sahiti. Shilpa. Niharika. Yes, yes, Ramesh. Yes, Nida, Neetu, Ramesh. Yes. It's 9 and 22. It's 9 and 22. I know it's challenging to remember, but we need to maintain notes for these kind of things, right? So that's pertaining to chromosomal abnormalities, right? And then coming to function, usually the abnormal tissues in case of a benign tumors, they retain the function, whereas the function is either retained or can be lost, or the function can become abnormal in case of your malignancies, right? So that's pertaining to differences in your histopathology or histologic features. So we're done with gross changes, morphological changes, and we're done with your histologic changes. Now let's look into few other aspects like growth rate, local invasion, metastasis, and prognosis, and then we'll break. Okay, yes, we have numerous examples in chromosomal abnormalities, which I have given you just one, Ananya, right? Now, moving on to growth rate. So obviously growth rate is comparatively low, it's comparatively high. In comparison between both, it's high in case of a malignancy. Local invasion is most commonly associated with your metastatic tumors. There is invasion, whereas there is compression associated with your benign tumors. A metastasis is usually not found in case of a benign, and it's often a characteristic feature of your malignancy. And prognosis is usually considered to be good in case of your benign tumors, whereas it's considered to be poor because of metastasis and local invasion. And there can be complications in case of a benign tumors, only local complications. Local complications in case of your benign tumors, whereas there can be local complications plus complications because of metastasis, that is metastatic complications in case of your malignancies, right? So these are some of the differences between your benign and malignant tumors. Yes, and someone said toffee, and we have toffee here. Say hi. Say hi. Hi. Hi, hi. They're scolding you for you causing them a lot of disturbance. You're not allowing them to concentrate on the lecture. So what kind of punishment do you want? Toffee? What kind of punishment shall we give to her? Hey Toffee, say hi. Say hi to everyone. Oh, you're looking at the monitor, okay. Say hi. Chal. Yes, we have, she got her ball and she wants me to play. Yes, Saptarshi, you want 5 MCQs. Okay, let me just ask you. See, I've been asking you several questions in the process, right? So that's the reason why I've chosen not to ask any MCQs. Anyways, I'll leave you with one question. I'll give you one term, let me know what kind of tumor it is. Benign or malignant. Leiomyoma. Is it a benign tumor or malignant tumor? Leiomyoma. Which pick, Nidhi? You're talking about leiomyoma? Okay, so you say it's benign. Fibroma? I'm sorry. Fibroma. Is it benign tumor or malignant tumor? Yes, Shilpa. Good. Fibroma. Okay. Granuloma, benign or malignant? Granuloma, the third one. Answer it. The third one, is it benign or malignant? Granuloma. Oh, come on, you're all in soup now. Except for Ananya and Saptarshi. And also Ramesh. Rest of you are in soup. Yes, Naja? Good. Yes, Megha. So, granuloma is not a tumor. The same question was posed to us in our second videos. And we all excitedly said, it's benign, benign. Everyone shouted, literally, even my wife. But it's not a tumor. Granuloma is not a tumor. You know what granuloma is, right? Okay, right. So we'll stop it here. We'll come back tomorrow with textbook discussion. I'm going to share the soft copy. If possible, I'll just take some pics of the material which we're going to discuss tomorrow so that you can refer simultaneously while we're going ahead with textbook discussion. And we'll have a textbook discussion on the topic metastasis tomorrow. Right? So elaborate metastasis followed by MCQ discussion as well. Yes, chronic inflammation and reactive lesion, fibroblasts, rim of lymphocytes, fibroblasts, and multinucleated giant cells. Okay. So from now on, we are even focusing on our e-classes until almost for last 2 weeks. We haven't been recording any videos. From now on, we'll try to have recorded videos in our e-classes also. Right? Simultaneously, we'll try to cover as many topics as possible. And yes, Ananya. We'll have a session separately on that. Already we shared a few information. I mean, those who are mailing, you can just drop a mail. We'll share a draft possible. And if necessary, we'll also have a live session as soon as possible pertaining to that. Right? Okay. So we'll break now and we'll see you again tomorrow. Okay? Yeah. By the way, hope your preparation is going on fine. And today and tomorrow you might have difficulty in filling up the forms because the website usually crashes. I tried previously, just opening it just crashed. So there will be more number of hits. So hold on at least for 3 to 4 days. Relax and then you can go ahead. Right? Don't be under the this kind of impression that you are just not really necessary to just run behind it. Just wait, hold on, you have still a lot of time. Test centers, anyways, it's not in your hands. They are going to decide it ultimately, right? And also regarding those who asked regarding this provisional registration, it's mentioned in the prospectus that you need to have provisional registration or permanent at the time of entering into the hall. So if you have permanent, that's fine, get it renewed online as fast as possible. And if you don't have any temporary, you can get temporary registration done at your respective state DC office. All you need is your what do you call that? Yeah, your Aadhaar identity card and bona fide certificate and also your final mark sheet. So if you can submit this, then you'll be getting a temporary registration within 1 day. It doesn't take much time. And bona fide certificate is nothing but a certificate from your college saying that you belong to that particular, you're studying there and you'll be completing your internship by March 31st as per the regulations, right? So you have this, you can get your temporary done, then no issues whatsoever. And also, if you have any questions or any doubts, do let me know. Even you can drop a mail to the MBE itself, or we have been doing. I mean, the number of attempts and the maximum age limit. It wasn't mentioned clearly, right? So even we are asking a few questions. Let's see if we get any answers, right? So all the best for your preparation and love you all. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye.